So it all boils down to this: South Africa against the Netherlands, the final group stage match for South Africa, and the match they need to win in order to go top of the log and to qualify for this particular World Cup, of course. But that's also depending on other results too. Of course, South Africa can only get knocked out of this one if someone else gets a victory, or between Pakistan and Bangladesh, of course, whoever wins that match will make a massive difference as well. So South Africa is going to have to come through here and put in a performance that we can all be proud of, and that they can get the momentum going into the semi-final. It was a bad defeat against Pakistan, a wake-up call for the South African team. I really wanted us to win that match. I know I'm not. Some fans might not be that worried that we lost it, but in my opinion, personally, I thought that I would have liked to win every single match. Now, I do understand the other side of the narrative. People saying that this might take some pressure off South Africa going into this match, because they're not the only team that has lost a match now. So perhaps that does work in some sort of way. Some people might believe that, they might say that. But I'm going to discuss this particular game, and we're going to go into this match with confidence. I'm hoping everybody, I hope, is feeling good about this one. But let's get straight into it. Before we get going, before we get started, there's a couple of things I need you to do. If you subscribe, if you're new, please, and click that notification bell for all future videos. Don't forget to also download the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every month. Link is on the screen as well as in the description. This is the latest episode, or the latest issue right now that's out. Even though the World Cup is on, you can still learn something from this, because they speak about coaching and etc., how to approach certain things. So please go ahead and check that out. Very important that you guys also download that. Go to cricketfanaticsmag.com for all your regular updates as well. It's important that you go there too, because we update you every single day with articles, features, etc. For the particular game, press releases, all of those type of things you'll get on cricketfanaticsmag.com. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. Looking forward to chatting about it. Magazine. This is your preview show. I'm your host, Khalid, and this is the show where we talk about all the major talking points in South African cricket, but particularly we're going to be previewing the game between South Africa and the Netherlands. It's the final game for the team, for South Africa, and it's their final chance as well to try and top the group, of course, and in that way, most likely get the favorable fixture. But I mean, there aren't really favorable fixtures in this particular one. We predict which four teams will qualify, it will most likely be, if England can beat Sri Lanka, obviously England second, and then New Zealand first, and then India and South Africa on our side. So we'll probably have to play England. So none of those games are easy. So either way, we're going to have a difficult semi-final going into this. But let's talk about this match first. Let's look ahead at this particular game. From the weather perspective, it looks pretty clear. There hasn't been many weather reports that are saying that necessarily it's going to rain during this particular match. South Africa's been playing 2 a.m. South African Standard Time on Sunday. So it's very important for us to support the team, even though it's so early in the morning. I'll be up. I'll be covering it, of course. So I'll give you guys, obviously, a review show after that particular match. But when it comes to Holland, I mean, there are quite a few players that we maybe need to look out. Max O'Dowd and Bas de Lead. Those are two players that are obviously some of the top players with regards to the bat when it comes to the Netherlands. And also, you know that the lead is also all rounder. So with regards to the ball, he's also going to cause some problems. And Paul van der Merwe Paul van der Merwe McKieran as well. Sorry, there's so many different names and different pronunciations. They're also going to be massive players for the Netherlands. But I would like to be ruthless with the Netherlands team. I want South Africa to put in a performance here and try and completely dominate the match. Hopefully, preferably bat first and put a massive total on. That's what I would like personally at this particular ground. Nazir, going into this match, What are you thinking going into this match? I want you to maybe give your little preview, and then we can get into the comment section and maybe answer some questions today.
Yeah, I think it should be a pretty easy game for us. Well, we have to make it an easy game. Netherlands are not a powerhouse by any means or stretch of imagination. So we should win. I would actually bowl first. I think bowling right now is our strength. So I would bowl first, beat Netherlands with the ball, basically. Our quicks get them out early for a low score, put less pressure on our batting. If we can restrict them to under 140, I think it should be an easy chase for us. Less pressure. I feel like if we bat first, and even if we get a score of about 150, 160, and that opener Max Dawood, or I'm not sure how you say his name, if he gets off to a rollicking start, that puts in then put that then puts us under pressure, and the nerves will start kicking in already. And I don't want to see that. So I would prefer for us to bowl first and knock them out of the park with our quicks.
Yeah, that is also another option to go with that and get it over and done with, obviously quickly. Um, and when it comes to the South African team, I think for me personally, because our bowlers are obviously our strength, um, I think our batters need to eat that Pakistan game out of their system and let us smack it out of their system and get it out of this and get some good decent form, because I think gonna lose it with if we're gonna lose this World Cup, it will most likely be, I feel, with a bat if we don't perform. So I would like these guys to just get as much runs under their belt, score a massive total, get that cobwebs off from the Pakistan game and really put the total on and just smother the Netherlands completely. I think that will test our bowlers also a little bit more, because I want us to be going into a position where we can, when our bowlers can also a little bit be tested. But obviously, you want to go into a game, um, and play with your strengths. We don't know what's going to be happening with regards to that. From South Africa point of view, I think Riley Rousseau is going to score some runs. I don't think he goes too many games without scoring. He scores a big one, and he goes a little silent, and maybe another big one. Whether we're going to see him play or not is another story. I do agree with what Nazir said in the previous show. I want to see our best team play. But I think that someone maybe like KG will, unless there's someone in the team that will benefit from a rest. And KG is someone that I think might benefit from a little bit of a rest against the Netherlands. And so that's maybe one change that I'll probably think about making. And obviously, I want to bring in the two spinners in this particular ground. I would like both spinners to play. Nazir, who do you think is going to step up on Nazir, from your perspective?
Uh, I have a good feeling about Timber. I think he batted well in the last game, and the way he batted in the last game was actually surprising to me. I know he has a few odd scores where he has done that in international T20 cricket, but it's not very often. For him to play that kind of knock, I think it was almost a perfect knock from him under so much of pressure from everyone saying he's not going to perform and he needs to be dropped, including myself. I think that shows a lot of mind willpower from him. And I think he's going to do that again. I really hope so. I want to see some runs from Tristan Stubbs if he gets a chance to bat. If we bat first and we get off to a good start, which I'm hoping, I wouldn't mind seeing Tristan Stubbs up the order, but I know you don't want to really change too much and mess up the balance or the what the look of the team is. But myself personally, I would give Tristan Stubbs a bit of a chance to bat and not just like the last game where he had no hope. So I want to see Tristan Stubbs as well get a good bat in.
Muted. Just for the guys that don't know about the stats on this particular ground as well, we've got a total of 12 matches that has been played on this ground. T20 matches, of course. Matches won batting first is 6. Matches won bowling first is 5. Averages first inning scores is 158, which is quite low. And average second inning score is 144. But the highest total recorded was 233 for 2. in 20 overs, Australia versus Sri Lanka. And the lowest total that was recorded is 117 all out, Zimbabwe versus Netherlands. The highest score chased at the ground is 170 for one, and the lowest score defended, crazy, but it's 25 for 0, 4.1 overs, England versus Australia women. But I don't, that's a different story altogether. But yeah, so just to give you some ideas, this is not maybe necessarily a very, very high scoring ground. Looking for totals around 170 and 180 to try and win the match, I think. So let's see what happens with regards to that. Let's get into the comment section and answer some of your questions. We've got Gorav at the top here saying our top three have to perform. They perform in pieces. Quinto de Kock in the first two matches, Riley against Bangladesh, and Temba last match haven't seen consistency. So I actually prefer it this way. Before, South Africa used to be in situations where in matches they'll have 3 or 4 people hitting centuries, and then we go on to win the match, and in the next game they go blank, and one person needs to pull it through. Whereas in this particular World Cup, I've seen a blend. Everybody's put up their hand and done something in the match. So that's very good for South Africa from that point of view. So that we know that we got these players that can take responsibility in tough times. What's your thoughts on this particular comment over here, Nazim?
Yeah, to add to that, there's not many batsmen in T20 cricket who are consistent. It's a very difficult format to be consistent in because you're trying to hit the ball over the top. You take much more risk than any other form of cricket. So to start off with, it's very hard to be consistent, which makes it obvious that our top 3 or 4, they're not going to be scoring runs consistently. I think if 2 batsmen out of the top 4 score, that would be great. I think that if 2 out of top 4 score a lot of runs at a decent strike rate, we should post a good total.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, like Lorenzo's saying here as over here as well, he says some SA fans are making fun of Australia on Twitter. It's kind of laughable. Last time I checked, we haven't qualified either yet. Adelaide has small boundaries, which brings the Dutch more into it. We need to be clinical. Now, I'm going to talk about the last part of people making fun of Australia. That's their prerogative. From my perspective over here, I think that I like the last line over here, the small boundaries part. This is the type of ground that I think that Riley can dominate. That's why I'm highlighting him as someone that I think could be a very good performer. I'm hoping that you are right as well, that Temba can get some decent runs as well. But the ultimate perfect scenario for me is that Quinny and Temba put on a nice score, whether they're batting first or chasing. I would like to see that, a combination of the top order doing something together as a pair, because that will give us great confidence going into a semi-final where we're going to need them to do that. So it would be nice to get some practice through that. And Tristan Stubbs, I mean, the Netherlands, we know that he's apparently has a passport for the Netherlands, and a lot of people said, oh, he might leave and stuff like that to go to the Netherlands. Nah, not going to happen. It's a time to prove that that he needs to do some serious damage over here so that just goes out to the window. So you're going to be up to watch this one? Are you preparing yourself?
Of course.
Are you going to prep for this? Because I don't know. I can't sleep in the afternoons and in early evenings. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm probably going to just stay up.
Nah. I'll sleep at. I was hoping that we beat Pakistan, and then I was going to wake up for the second innings or something because it would have mattered. But it's a must-win game. I won't be able to sleep. I'm planning to sleep at around 10, half-past 10, waking up at 2. But I don't think I'll sleep very well. But even though,
going to do the Ronaldo?
yeah, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try and do that. Copy Wayne Panel and do that. Get some peace in me. But yeah, if we lose this game, don't expect me to see me anytime soon. But we're not gonna lose. We can't lose to the Netherlands.
Yeah, look at a beard saying over here, if South Africa lose to Netherlands, then they should stop playing.
I agree. Stop. Stick to rugby.
Yeah, it's all about circumstances, and it depends how we lose.
No. No circumstances are going to justify us losing to Netherlands. Please.
Just making
I
you a
don't want
little.
to hear that from anyone. If we lose to
Don't
Netherlands,
disrespect him so, man. Come on.
if we lose to
No, we
Netherlands,
shouldn't.
I'm
We
going to
should be
do
able
my
to beat them.
change on Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon.
But I can't. No matter what I do, I can't disrespect Netherlands. It's part of my childhood. I grew up there for 3 years, so it's a big part of my childhood. So I can't. I support them in football. So for me to be disrespectful to them, I can't really. But we should be able to beat them. I mean, we know that this was obviously when you looked at the list before this tournament. Zimbabwe, the first game and the last game were the two games that we highlighted as definite ticks off for a lot of fans. So I'm hoping that they can keep their heads. That's why losing that game makes this even more. So if we lose this with all our attitude, all our eggs in one basket, with the right attitude, having lost, needing to win, sure, I'm going to be really, really, really upset. And the show is going to be
We're not
probably
losing.
very,
We're not losing.
very entertaining. Look how Afghanistan came into the game chasing a very decent Australia total, yet Australia only won by 4 rounds. So I would definitely bowl first on that same small Adelaide ground. You would definitely bowl first. Okay, cool. I'm gonna go with batting. Like I said, I think we can really bat them out the match with the batters that we have. Whenever SA has done well, generally one batter on the top three has gone on to make the majority of the runs. We need that going forward. We leave too much work for the middle order to get the bulk of the runs. Yes, and most teams in this World Cup have been struggling with that exact thing. Majority of middle orders have won matches for their team. So yes, you're 100% correct. And if every single team had that and was doing that, they'd be in much better positions in every single match, and we wouldn't have this exciting World Cup tournament that we currently have. What's your thoughts on this particular comment,
Yeah, I think
Nazir?
it's obvious that if one of the top three make a lot of runs, you should post a decent total because they provide a good stability up at the top of the order. So I think that's normal. Um, yeah, I don't think we should look too deep into that. But the only thing is our batting lineup is very weak. Not very weak, very short. Sorry.
Oh,
I'm
I was
really
about to
worried
say.
about. Yeah, I'm really worried about Wayne Parnell at 7. Like that, I'm honestly that before the World Cup, I always thought that Wayne Pretorius gives us stability with the bat there at 7. Now that he was injured, I've since then I've been really concerned about Wayne Parnell at 7. I don't think he offers much with the bat, especially trying to get quick runs at the end of an innings. I hope he can prove me wrong, but I don't think it'll really play an issue in this game. It shouldn't. If we're expecting Wayne Parnell to make runs against Netherlands and we need that, that's going to be a bit worrying in itself. But I think if we hopefully when we win this game in the semis and the final, if we make that, I think that number 7, we're really rolling the dice on that. It's a big risk to have Wayne Parnell at 7.
You see, what worries me about that Wayne Parnell at 7 is that it's not the same Wayne Parnell that I saw batting at Province recently in the last CSA T20 Challenge. He's not playing the same type of strokes that I saw him play in that CSA T20 Challenge. He looks a little bit out of sorts over here, which is worrying me because I feel that he's a good batter. I mean, I've seen games live at Newlands where he's opened the batting and really looked good at the crease and scored massive runs. I've also seen him bat lower down the order at 8, 7, where he has put on runs. But yes, he's an 8, and a lot of people will say, yeah, but he's an 8 more than a 7. That one position change, I know it's a massive thing in cricket with regards to structure, but he should be able to handle that step up with his experience. I feel, with his experience that he's played in England, he's batted in England, he's played it all around the world. He should have that understanding, but he doesn't look like the Wayne Parnell that I've recently seen, which is a worry for me personally because I know that he has it in him to bat. I've seen it, so I don't know what's happening. Maybe it's just a mental block because his bowling has been phenomenal. So I'm just hoping that he can maybe put some. Maybe if his bowling is terrible and then he'll bat well or something like that. Nobody all rounders do that. Hardly ever do we see a full complete game with it, unless you Deva Brevers currently. So let's move on. Ikram saying if the Proteas bat first, they have to score more than 180, which is what I think we can do. Our batters are good enough to be able to get that total. Yeah, that's for me personally. That's the route I'd go. We know that we have two opposing views, which is good because I like to hear both sides of the story. So for us to give you guys our holistic previews, to have two different. If me and Nazir stand here and sit here and agree with each other all the time, it will be a very boring show.
So
We
Khalid,
must
can
also
I ask
select
you a
our best.
question quickly?
Yeah, go ahead.
So if we score 180 batting first, do you think it's fair enough I can go back to sleep after that?
Yeah, I think so. On this ground, yes. 180, I think with our bowling attack, 180 should be able to be defendable, definitely against the
100%.
Netherlands, particularly. So if we put a big score on the board, I think you'll be safe. You can wake up for the review show again. We must also select our best 11. We can't. That's just what Nazir said actually the other day. We can't go and give guys game time who definitely won't feature in the semis if we win, of course. You see, if we beat Pakistan, then I would have maybe thought about it. Maybe 60%, 70, probably 45% in the camp of maybe trying a new thing or two. But because we need to win this game, and also because we need momentum going into the semi-final now with that loss, the best 11 needs to be selected, I feel. I know you've said enough on this, Nasir, but if you want to give it to the guys that maybe haven't heard your point of view.
No, I just think if it's a must-win game, you have to play your best 11, no matter who the opponent is. You can't take them lightly. I'm taking them lightly, but the team can't take them lightly. No doubt about it. There has been upsets in the World Cup. We saw Zimbabwe with an upset, Ireland with an upset in the qualifiers. But I do, however, feel Netherlands probably the weakest of all the sides that have qualified for the Super 12, in my opinion. So I don't think it should be an issue. But 100%, you have to play your best team. You can't. You have to uh, turn over all stones. Make sure that all your bases are covered. Whatever you think your best team is, whatever the management think their best team is, you have to play that because it's a must-win game. I think I'm hoping that losing that match against Pakistan is a blessing in disguise because it means we can win this game 100%. We have to, and that takes us momentum into the next game. And yeah, we have to play our best 11.
Mm-hmm. Very true, and that's why I'm not looking at batters to change around. I think that batting setup needs to play. That's why currently we're going to pick two spinners on this particular ground, which I think they're going to go. It's going to have to be between the three seamers, and at the moment, KG is the one that's out of form. So Lungi and Andrich needs to play. We're going to pick up best 11. I'm thinking going into this particular match. So
Do
KG.
you have any news on David Miller playing? Is he back?
I think he'll be. I think he'll be all right. I think he just missed that match. I don't think it was a serious injury, according to what the media has said. So not the media, but what they were said in the press conference, etc. So it doesn't seem like it was a serious injury. It was just a bit of a back spasm. So they were precautious with it. But we'll see. Obviously, in the pre-match press conference, we'll be updated with exactly what is going on over there. If SA lose to the Dutch, they're better off not coming home. What's going on with Miller? I just gave you the update of what I know. Why they don't call up? You can't call up anybody else right now. You can only call up people from the traveling squad. We don't have any batters there, which is a concern, even if there was a major one. But I think we've got enough in the team, in the squad to put in there. Like, for example, Arne Klaassen can come in, or Risa Hendricks can come in if there's an injury. This is Lorenzo's 11. What do you think? What do you think about this one, Azir? Quinton, Temba, Riley, Markram, Miller, Stubbs, Janssen, Maharaj, Parnell, Nokia, and Gidi.
You know what? I like that, but they're not gonna drop Rabada. I don't think anyone's gonna drop Rabada, but I would. I like that. I like it. That means Parnell's at 9, Janssen at 7, and Maharaj at 8. That makes our batting lineup a bit stronger. Uh, Janssen is a bit inexperienced though. If he's under pressure, will he
Yeah.
bowl the balls in the right areas? I'm not sure about that. Our death bowling is weak.
Look,
I've
he
seen.
did it in the IPL. Remember that last over? That last over he bought at the death for Mumbai Indians. I think it was against. I think it was against AB actually. He kept him out against RCB. It was pretty impressive. Impressive.
Yeah, but international cricket is different to
Different
IPL.
stage. Different
Yeah,
stage.
but I like that. Was Lorenzo the same guy who was saying that Timber needs to be dropped, or was that someone else?
Yeah. But he's now accepted it. I think that he's not going to be dropped. So pretty sure you'll put Riley. So if he had the choice, I think he's probably thinking this is a team that you'd like, based in with all the things that we have, constraints that we have with regards to that. Okay, let's move on. question: will there be a show on Malibongwe being named test coach? We did speak about it on the previous show, but I will be doing a show, yes, closer to the time, a little bit more. We have a feature on the website with Malibongo Maketa giving insight into his journey until the Proteas. It's exclusive to Cricket Fanatics magazine. We've got the quotes. So go ahead and read that. It gives you some nice insight into him as a coach and what he's gone through, what his journey is, how he's viewing the Proteas going forward. And we'll have a part 2 of that as well coming out very, very soon. So stay tuned to cricketfanaticsmag.com for all of that. Chatty saying, how about 4 bowlers plus Markram? Stubbs bowling 4 overs between them. Um, Stubbs for me bowling is only if we really, really, really are desperate. I don't want to necessarily put him under pressure in a World Cup right now doing that things. I think he needs to focus on his batting where it is currently because he hasn't necessarily come off quite yet. But you can't expect someone that has the responsibility of being a finisher to be consistent. I mean, there aren't many consistent, like Nazir said, T20 batters in the world currently. A lot of guys will come on and off. You'll get certain runs, like Baba Azam went on, like Aiden Markram went on before the World Cup, and like Riza Hendricks went on before World Cup. You'll get those runs along the way, but majority of the time, it's you come off in this particular match and win a game for your team. That's what from my experience of covering the IPL for a couple of years, for the last 5-6 years, and watching T20 cricket. That's been quite consistent. But okay, yes, different ground, different country, different circumstances. Reading the conditions are very important in T20 cricket now more than ever because bowlers have become more skillful and more patient. Josh Hazlewood, for example, just bowls normal test lengths and it works for him. And it really tests the opposition batter's technique because of the consistency. So, yeah. What's your thoughts on that?
Nah, I don't want to see that. As I think in the 2015 was it 2015 World Cup when AB was bowling overs? I don't want to see any of that stuff. We have our bowling is our strength, so why make it into a weakness? I don't agree with that at all. I think if bowling is our strength, I think if teams face us, they look at our bowling and say, "Shit, these guys can bowl." There's not really a massive target. If they have to target one bowler, it's going to be maybe I don't know Keshav, and he's not easy to target. Whereas if we're playing 4 bowlers, we're going to then target. They're going to target Markram or Stubbs, and I think that's very much easy. You can get away with Aiden Markram bowling an over because then the batsman don't really get a chance to see what he's doing. But if he's bowling 4 overs, I think he'll go for a lot.
I'm just dreaming a little bit about the future and thinking about like how South Africa is going to have like a batting lineup of Dewald Brevis who can bowl and Aiden Markram who can bowl, and then going down the order, we're gonna have ridiculous players coming through. I mean, if Bryce Parsons can get himself right as well, he also offers some spin with the ball and he bats really well. I mean, I remember watching him play at Kai Majorowicz, etc., and he was just phenomenal. I'm just hoping that he can come into his own. But more and more so, we are producing players that can bat and add a couple of overs because I think our South African players are realizing that they become more valuable. Look at the guy like Vian Libber, captain of the Warriors, batting at the top of the order, can also offer a couple of overs of spin too. So, I mean, that's another player that I think, I mean, I feel that he maybe never reached the level that we were hoping he would. We saw him dominate in MSLs and we saw him dominate domestically. When he had his chance at international cricket, he maybe never came off, but they put a lot of pressure on him, when he made his debut, etc. But when you're
Didn't
looking
have
at
a chance.
when they did, they put him open. They opened the batting with him like that. That's mental for a guy that's just walked into the team. And at that particular time, he was more a middle order batter actually than he recently is becoming more of an opener. He's changing his game and his style. So, but we have a very bright future. There's a lot of youngsters that are out there that are doing
I like
doing
the
the
look
work.
of Similani. You speak about that, who could do both
Andile
from
Simalani
Telford.
was. Yeah, I'm gonna
I think
interview him
yes,
soon. I'm gonna interview him soon. Get him on the channel. I'm gonna get him on the channel soon. And have a conversation with him too. But yeah, you're right. Any other youngsters that have been standing out with regards to you from a CSA 220 challenge, or any players generally?
uh, I don't know. Like, I think obviously the obvious ones is Grant Rudolfsson. He's done well this season, and that bowler, Nene. I think he's
Yeah.
bowled really well. I think he bowled really well at the death as well. I like the look of him. He's looking alright.
It will be very interesting because he's a very skiddy bowler. He bowls
Mm.
his balls come in quite quickly and skiddy. He's all effort at the moment. He was in top shape and top form. Whether he can repeat that is going to be interesting. I would like to see him in another tournament again and have a go again. Seeing if he can repeat that because the consistency is going to be very difficult. The conditions were perfect for him for his style of bowling as well. It was just absolutely perfect for him, and his ability to be able to read it and exploit it was superb. So yeah, I want to also interview him as well, and someone in the future that I want to get on the show as well. Yeah, let's get the final comments or so. Do we trust Parnell at 7 with 50 needed or 5 overs in a semi-final versus New Zealand? That's the problem at the moment that we are saying. Um, that's my concern currently is that he's not looking like himself currently with the bat in hand. It is a little bit of a concern. I think he maybe just needs to calm himself down at the crease. Maybe his head is just is running away from him or something. Maybe he just needs to calm down and just go back to basics, and it will come right again. I think Nazir said his say on that. If everything goes according to plan, SA versus New Zealand and India versus England are the two semi-final matches.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Gonna be interesting to see. Interesting to see what's going to happen in this particular match. Let's not be too harsh on Stubbs. He just made. You see, it's difficult because Stubbs was brought in for one reason and one. I know we shouldn't pigeonhole him because I know he can bat. He can bat. I've seen him before in cricket. He can also come in earlier and also to hold it down and really push through a game and win it for someone. But from a South African standpoint, people brought him in as a top six, as his number six, to come in and be that person that takes you over the line or takes that total to from 160 to 180 or 190, even a winning total, or in a chase, you need someone to step up. That's what he was brought in for. Most of the time, those type of players are going to be a little bit more inconsistent. They're going to come off one game and come and not in another. So I think we're maybe being a little bit too harsh on him. He's a youngster. He's he is there to also soak in everything and learn from this experience. This is going to be an unbelievable experience for Tristan Stubbs, being amongst this team, learning the conditions in Australia as well, understanding how to adapt his game, understanding playing against all these high quality fast bowlers and spinners. His game against spin is really strong. Actually, I like the way he plays against spin. It's probably the hockey that helps that as well. I've heard that seems to help people play against spin, of course. What's your thoughts on Stubbs? Do you think people are maybe being a little bit too harsh on him?
Yeah, but I'm not. I think that's his job at number six. It will come off hopefully very soon. At least two of the next three games, I expect it to come off. I think he's good enough for that. A lot of what he has to do does involve luck. It must be said, hitting the ball, hitting two, three sixes and over, you have to get some luck. He's not really getting luck, but yeah, I think eventually he will come off. I'm going to disagree with you. I don't think you should look at it as an experience. I think this is a World Cup. It's not nothing he needs to look at as having a good experience. He needs to win game for us, and I think he will.
Yeah. No, but that's just a bonus. I'm saying. I mean,
Yeah,
obviously,
yeah,
I get
yeah,
your point. That's just a
yeah.
bonus because it's very seldom that you have an opportunity to blood a youngster in this early when you have still experienced players around you. And I've always stressed that that's been our biggest weakness in South Africa.
Yes.
We haven't blooded in youngsters quickly enough when there are experienced heads around them to teach them the game. They're learning on the job, and that shouldn't be the case. We have a comment here about the times. What time is the game? 2 a.m. or 5 a.m.? 5 a.m. It's 2 a.m. South African Standard Time. So yeah, just to confirm that with all of you guys, South Africans that are watching. Stubbs will come good in a crunch game, Lubabalo, and I agree with you, bro. That's what I mean. I trust Tristan a lot. I mean, I've watched him since the start of his career. I actually interviewed him in the Kai Majolo week where he was top run scorer. We had a long fat chat about cricket and stuff, and I just like his calmness and his mentality. You can see already early when you're watching a young cricketer and you speak to them. You can already tell if they're going to make it or not because you can just tell by their attitude and the way they are just miles ahead in maturity. Stubbs was one of those players. He was one of the best all-rounders in the tournament too. Actually, he kept and he keeps wicket. He spins and he plays as a batter as well. So it's phenomenal talent that we have at our hands over here. Stubbs struggles against the slower balls. Most batters do. That's why they use the slower ball. So yes, he does. He needs to obviously come good against that. But also, when we take in the last game as a reference, it was very tricky, the
Mhm.
circumstances. When the DLS came in, it made it almost impossible for us to really win that game with two new batters at the crease that's still trying to get their eyes in, because there was no time for them to get their eye in. That was the problem. At least in a normal chase, you have a little bit, one or three or four balls maybe to get your eye in before you can really give it a go. So I wouldn't be too worried about his facing against slower deliveries. Um, let's get one more. If we are in a good position against Netherlands, we should send him up the order to get him some overs and then score. Let him get form. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I do agree with that. If we are in a good position and our openers or top three or four get us off to a good start, I wouldn't, and we basically have a good total already. I wouldn't mind sending him up the order. I
Mm,
would like to see him get some runs, get some confidence in him. I really think that the management must have told him that your job is to hit the ball, and we understand if you're going to be inconsistent. So I don't think confidence should be a big problem for him. But I think any player in the world will want to get some runs. So
mm,
yeah, I agree with that.
mhm. Okay, Nazir, let's give your final thoughts going into this match. How your confidence levels through the roof?
Yeah, I do think we should win, but I told you about my gut feeling that we're gonna lose to Pakistan the other day. I have this weird gut feeling about Netherlands that they're gonna put us under pressure. I don't want to say it, but I have this weird feeling in my stomach that they're gonna get off to a good start, and I don't know what's gonna happen next. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm trying to stay. I just want the game to come already. Hopefully, the Springboks can get the country off to a good start tomorrow night, and I'll
Mhm.
be up 2 a.m. to watch the Proteas get us to the semis on Sunday morning.
Cross fingers, guys. I'm feeling a lot more calm. I was nervous before the Pakistan guys. So I'm the opposite of you. We're literally the opposite at the moment. So, yeah, I'm feeling quite confident. I think that these batters, I think our batters will win us this match. They'll bat whether we chase or whether we bat first. I think we'll win this match with our batters. And the bowlers just will have to go and do their job as per usual. So yeah, guys, thanks a lot for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to smash the like button, comment, share, subscribe, and click the notification bell for all future videos, and do all the things that I asked you at the start of this video, like, of course, subscribe to Cricket Fanatics Magazine monthly, become a Patreon, all of those things. Thanks a lot, Nazir, for joining in. And let's hope that when the next time we talk, South Africa have qualified for the semi-finals. Yeah, so enjoy your weekend, everybody. Enjoy your evening, and I'll speak to you guys very, very soon. Peace out.